You got to wonder why they made
Not
the
hard.
video. They must have been concerned about something, which we'll get to, and we'll get to the video as well. Along with the co-host of our fourth hour, Jonathan Lemire, we have Katty Kay in D.C., and White House correspondent for Reuters, Jeff Mason, is with us here at the table. So let's back up a little bit. President Trump, of course, accusing that group of Democratic lawmakers of seditious behavior that he says could be, quote, punishable by death. It's an all-caps claim from the President of the United States, and it comes after the lawmakers, all of whom served in the military or intelligence community, served this country. They posted this video reminding members of the military to refuse illegal orders.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
Against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
Or our Constitution.
And Willie, I thought it was fascinating watching another news channel, chicken hawks, who have never served in the military,
Of course.
attacking men and women that have served in Iraq, that have served in Afghanistan, that have, I'm sure, lost friends in fighting, that served this country proudly, saying what they all know: you can't follow illegal orders. But see how easy this is for Donald Trump? Everybody's talking about Epstein. Everybody's talking about record low poll numbers. And all he has to do is go on Truth Social and just say, kill senators.
Right.
Right? And so all of that, obviously, you can't ignore it when a president says kill senators. They should be hung, sedition, all this stuff. But that is how easy it is for him. Have somebody type it in, send it out, boom. You don't hear about Epstein. You don't hear about affordability. You don't hear about how young people can't get houses. You don't hear about how people can't afford health care insurance, how they can't afford groceries, how they can't afford to live, how they can't afford cars. Go down the list.
It's been a terrible couple of weeks for President Trump.
Meanwhile,
White House reporter Vaughn Hilliard, along with Sarah Matthews, former deputy White House secretary in the first Trump administration, that's communications secretary, and former Democratic Congressman Max Rose from New York. Vaughn, bring us the latest from the president and the White House on all of this. Any signs of backing off?
Right. The president actually just a few moments ago on a radio outlet suggested that he was not, in fact, threatening death, but that these lawmakers should be in, quote, serious trouble. But I think that we really need to underscore here the fact that the president of the United States, the commander in chief, is openly suggesting that Democratic lawmakers would otherwise face death for their treasonous, seditious activities, according to him, is you could say stunning if it weren't for the fact that he said this just 2 years ago about the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley. And back in 2023, he had suggested that Mark Milley was a traitor, and that it's similar in the way that he framed this, that in another era he would have faced death. And I asked him about that in 2023, those remarks, and whether he actually meant death and why would he suggest that. And he completely sidestepped 3 different efforts by myself to get him to explicitly say, no, I know that that is extreme language. And what you are seeing is the president actively reposting on social media the suggestion that these lawmakers could even face hangings. And I think that this is important, not just from the fact that it's the top executive of the United States, but even more so, the fact is, you know, having traveled the country, especially over the last 2 years, I heard repeatedly from Americans on the ground who believed that Democratic government officials deserved to be killed and deserved the death penalty for their actions. And so I know from history that the president's words have great meaning to a great many Americans who take his words very seriously. Whether he takes his own words seriously or not is besides, I think, the point.
Double up. Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, the conservative libertarian here, and we're back with another one, man. Yes, sir. All right, as you can see, Got a new haircut. Let me know what you guys thinking about the cut down below. I'm rocking with it. It's a new start, fresh take. I've been wanting to get a haircut for a while because I'm tired of wearing my hats and stuff like that. Because I ain't trying to have a continually receding my hairline. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I keep my hats off and keep my hair out in the open. So I'm glad I can stop wearing hats for the time being. But enough about me. Let's get into the news and the topics of today. I only have a couple videos for you guys today, but we got some good stuff for you guys. So basically, we got the Democrats basically saying that Trump's calling for the deaths of them, because Trump believes that they are acting in sedition. And if you guys don't know the definition of sedition is basically just, people or speech trying to incite violence or incite a rebellion against the government. The reason why this is very important to talk about is because these people don't understand government, right? I really feel like these people don't understand government. They got into their positions because they ran on something that they thought people liked, right? Or they thought a certain side of the aisle liked, right? I don't honestly believe these people know a lick about government. I'm not gonna sit here and think that I know 100% about government because that's not what I preach on my channel. I'm not a government specialist, right? But these people, they think that it's okay to throw out, and they want to make it seem like, oh, we met illegal actions, right? But the thing is, though, is that if you've ever been in military, like they've said they've been in the military before, but have they actually ever been in true combat to where if there is an illegal action being taken place, are you going to just stand down in the middle of a war zone? No, you're probably going to do what you need to do, right? You're going to do what you need to do within the bounds of legal limitations, right? But there's a lot of gray area that comes in when you're in military combat or when you're in the service, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into what these Dems have to say. And like again before, these people are calling for policing of speech. They're policing your speech right now. So let's see what they have to say about this video. Let's go.
She serves on the Intelligence and Armed Services Committee and is a U.S. Air Force veteran. Congresswoman, thank you for being here. Since the president posted those comments, what have you been dealing with? Did you anticipate any of this blowback?
I certainly started anticipating some kind of blowback, and possibly from the President of the United States when Stephen Miller started picking up on our video. Again, I'd like to emphasize the President of the United States called for the hanging of sitting members of Congress because we had the audacity to ask people to follow the law.
Once again, these people are lying. They are lying. He did not call for you to die, right? He's describing the punishment that is described with the with the word, you know what I'm saying, or with the actions that they, you know what I'm saying, what's punishable by what you're doing, right? And it can be considered, right? It's not a complete accusation at you, even though Trump already believes that you guys are traitors, which, I mean, I don't see how anybody can be a fan of the Democratic Party right now when all they do is just stir up drama. All they're doing is stirring up drama after drama after drama. They just keep poking the bear, and they expect the bear to not like get angry. You know what I'm saying? They expect the bear to just sit back and just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to sit here and take all this. I'm going to take all the disrespect that these people in Congress and House are giving me. It's like, come on, bro. Like, come on. He's not going to keep sitting here and taking all the disrespect, especially after all this Epstein stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because he flipped the script on you guys with that whole thing. I'm going to get into that with Jasmine Crockett later. But it's just stupid. Like, why? Like, what is the point? What was the point of that video? What was the point of the video if it was not to incite a rebellion? Because now you're making people in the military second guess the president, the chief of command. He's the commander in chief. And you're making them second guess him? That's incredible. That is incredible.
And so the fact that this has been his response, regardless of whether or not he intends to execute us or not, has resulted in the backlash and outreach of thousands of people to my office and to the offices of my colleagues as well. Words have consequences, and this president has made my point, has made our point.
Wow.
Why we made this video.
Wow. Wow. Did you just hear what she said? Words have consequences, right? So if you say something that they don't like, oh, there's consequences. There is consequences. As in, it's funny because they'll try to say the same thing like, oh, Trump's doing the same thing. Trump's saying that they're saying certain things that could be considered seditious. And it's like, yeah, okay, sure. He's saying what you guys are saying is seditious, but what he is saying is he's not telling you, right? He's not telling you that, yeah, they should all die. If he actually meant that, if he would have said that on paper, be like, yeah, we need to execute these people immediately and named you guys by name, like, yeah, that would have been a different story. I would be like, all right, yeah, that's a crazy thing. But, you know, I could see a lot of people on the other side of the right side being like, yeah, this is completely cool. You know, I could see some of that, some of it, not all of it, because like I said before, they're not all, like, you know what I'm saying, crazy as, you know, the people on the left, like they, like I said, it was all over TikTok. They laughed and celebrated Charlie. Like, I couldn't go on my timeline without seeing that. Everywhere on my timeline on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram Reels, Snapchat Reels, like you'll see it all over the place. People were happy that man died, right? And it's like, these people don't understand the game that they're even playing. They don't know that this game that you're playing, like they don't know that this has been like sedition, like the sedition law and whatever the hell that is. That's probably been in the books for a long ass time. So like I said, these people are out here playing with fire and they're expecting not to get burnt. Like, I can't feel bad for these people. I really can't.
Yeah, he did retweet or repost.
Look at her. She looked like she's about to cry because the president said I should die because of what I said. It's because I'm inciting violence. I'm inciting a rebellion to the troops. I'm telling the troops to stand down. Do not take orders from Trump. And there's another thing too. There's a lot of gray in there because you're telling them not to take orders from Trump, but it's like, what is a lawful order and what is not an unlawful order? Do people in the military even really know? Do they really even know? Especially during times of chaos and you know, friction. Are they really going to sit here and evaluate every single law? Are they going to pull out their law book and be like, page 35 of the law book? Oh yeah, that doesn't apply to the laws. I'm not doing that right now, sir. And it's like, yeah. We'll see how that goes with the military troops if they choose to do that. And then if you start to see military troops being in prison, the only people that you can blame is the Democrats, because the Democrats told them that they should stand down to the president.
User who said hang them, George Washington would. I know that's what you were referring to in your comments there. Are you worried about your safety? Have you requested extra security?
Incredible.
What I would say is this job is not a safe job. It never has been. I remember January 6th was a full-out insurrection caused by this president. But what I would say is that I am even more committed to the fact that I am in the right place at the right time with the right message about the importance of following the law and the importance to be on the right side of history.
The reaction from your Republican colleagues has ranged from downplaying the president's post to actually defending them. Here's what Majority Leader John Thune and Speaker Johnson have been saying. Watch.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Obviously, everybody has a First Amendment right. What they did was ill-advised and provocative and unnecessary.
But I will say unequivocally,
boom. Even Thune is like, yeah, like, I don't agree with what the president said, which, like I said, I don't 100% agree with what he said either. But at the end of the day, he has the right to speak how he wants to speak. It's the freedom of speech, the First Amendment right? Like I said, these people are against the First Amendment. They don't want the president to be able to say what he wants to say, right? They want to be able to police speech, right? So let's continue with Speaker Johnson.
that was a wildly inappropriate thing for so-called leaders in Congress to do, to encourage young troops to disobey orders. I mean, think of what the threat that is to our national security and what it means to our institutions. We have got to raise the bar in Congress. This is out of control and is wildly inappropriate. And for a senator like Mark Kelly or any member of Congress in the House or Senate to be engaging in that kind of talk is to me just so beyond the pale.
Speaker Johnson saying it's wildly inappropriate for you to encourage troops to disobey orders, and he called it beyond the pale. What do you say to that?
Well, both of those were amazing statements. I can start with the one that says that it's exercising your First Amendment right. what we said was we need to follow the law. The Speaker of the House is astounding in what he's saying, which is that we.
But why make the video, bro? Why make the video if you believe? See, this is the thing. They believe that what Trump is doing is against the law. They believe that what he is doing is against the Constitution, right? So in their brains, right, in their minds, this is justifiable. Like we can make this video because we believe that Trump is doing the wrong thing for our country, right? On the other side of that, you have courts and you have appeals courts. There are some appeals courts that are rejecting some of the things that Trump is doing, but some of those appeals courts are in cities that are ran by Democrats, or or the judge is a liberal. So I mean, that you can take that for how you want to take that. There are a lot of courts, and especially the Supreme Court, and has agreed a lot with what Trump is doing, and saying like, yeah, like there shouldn't be this many immigrants. Yeah, we need to police crime. We need to get crime under control. And we need to stop drugs from coming into our cities that are killing us by the thousands. Like, there's a lot of things that they are mad about that Trump is trying to fix that they let run amok for the last 4 to 5 years. And this is my problem, the Democratic Party. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if they were to put up a moderate Democrat, maybe I can get behind some of them. Like you said, I've got behind a couple of Democrats who are sane speaking, that actually speak some common sense, right? Even though I might not agree with their politics, I agree with their common sense analogies and their logic. And this is the reason why I can't agree with the Democratic Party as of right now. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days of Obama and, maybe even Clinton era, I probably would have had agreed if I was, very active during those political spheres. Maybe I would have agreed with them a lot more during those times. But now that I see the way how they are acting when it comes to Trump being in office and how they were last time when Trump was in office, yeah, I'm not buying none of the juice that these people are squeezing. What you guys did was really ridiculous. You shouldn't there's no point in doing that. But like I said, in their mind, they believe that Trump's doing the wrong thing. So in their mind, they're justified. Well, in Trump's mind, he's justified. Okay, he's justified in believing, right, that you guys are acting in sedition. What is wrong with that? He's in his right to believe that. It's called freedom of speech, and then on top of that, he's an independent individual. Okay, if he believes it, maybe he shouldn't always post everything he thinks, which I truly agree with. I agree with that statement 100%. He should not post everything that he thinks, right? You thinking of something, you don't have to post it, President. You don't have to do that, okay? You can think about it, maybe tell your cabinet members and and let them speak for you, you know what I'm saying? But you speaking on, this is we have probably the most active president of all time when it comes to social media. Like, he's the most active president. I get it, you know what I'm saying? I get that he wants to post everything he thinks, but sometimes, I think he also knows, too, that this is what's going to make the media spin. He knows how to manipulate the media, and you see it right now and how it's going down right now. They're literally saying that the president needs to be silenced. He cannot speak like this. Same way it can be turned. Like, they don't want to go down this avenue, bro. They don't want to go down the avenue of policing speech, right? Which, I mean, they've already been doing that. But they don't want to keep going down this alleyway because you guys are just going to run into a brick wall, and you're going to lose people because at the end of the day, people want to be able to say what they want to say without the fear of being retaliated against, right? But at the end of the day, you can say what you want to say, and that's how it should be, right? We should live in a free country, free enterprise, free from government, and free to independently think for ourselves, right? So that's what I think about this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below, whether or not this was L or a W. Till next time, guys. Peace.